All aboard! Rail fans! And in this week's edition of Shaky Hands Shed, we'll be servicing and weathering this Hornby Class 37 in rail freight grey with the large logo BR. Start again, I'm wearing these teeth in for a donkey. In large logo. Oh, for God's sake, large logo, British Railways emblem. There we go, got it out. And we'll be taking it from a plasticky looking toy. And it has potential, it has the detail there and stuff. It's quite a nice looking little locomotive. But it has the Hornby plasticky look. Especially being a bit too shiny, and you certainly won't be able to say that about it. Once we've finished, it's also getting a service, and I'll be mentioning Sam's trains in this edition. I enjoy watching the channel, but I saw a "oh Sam, don't do it" moment, and we're just stripping the loco, taking the body off the chassis so I can do some weathering on the body. And basically I stripped it all down so I could wash off all the plastic parts, get dirt and everything off that had settled on it. There we are after a wash. And it should have a square weight in it, but it were missing. So I'm adding weights to weight it down. It'll always be on a flat layout and it won't be hauling a great deal. My planned layout will be flat and it won't be hauling a great deal, so yeah, we are putting on more weights and more just stacking up. I've glued them in with Uhu glue. Uhu, if people don't know, is German for owl. Obviously the noise it makes, Uhu, and that's why the Germans call them an Uhu. Anyway, that bit of trivia over with. We're on with this, and I'm using a bit of black oil paint. Not that it matters, but it's Winsor and Newton. Oh no, wait a minute, it's not this one. I think it's Georgian black. It don't matter anyway. If you're using black oil paint will be black oil paint. Especially for this use. And all I do with this is wipe it on and wipe it off again. I'll be using black washes later, which I don't know why the point of this is, but it's a very effective technique. If you have a loco body shell by itself and you just want to emphasise details, you can do a black wash over it, then rub it off. And obviously being careful you don't remove tampo printing and that. I take the risk because I can respray them and redecal them if I want. If the worst comes to the worst. I've got one in my fleet, so I'm going to have to do that too. The Santa Fe I got the other day. I cleaned it off and it took all the Santa Fe writing on. And now I've bought new Santa Fe decals. Anyway, there we go, coming back on. I put the cloth down in here I'm brushing some Vallejo model colour, and I think it's, oh, what is it? Is it brown violet it's called? I think it is brown violet. It just gives a roof dirt colour. See, on this I overemphasise it. Oh no, me weathering on this one, I've overemphasised it. It looks good, but I should have followed my own recommendations of less is more. But this is one I've always wanted to do for a while, weather it. Because it's a lovely livery, but it just looked a toy. And the results I've come out with, it looks more like a model, even if overdone, than a toy. We're just about finishing there, brushing it. And here I'm stripping the mortar down. I've took the carbon brushes out and the springs. I'm taking the face plate off, and this is where I'll tell you what Sam did. You were naughty this week, Sam, on Sam's Trains. He did his Scrapman video, the last one he did, and I screwed my face up in pain. He used a Dremel wire wheel attachment on the commutator. I'll never advise people on my channel to do that, or show it being done, because it's a delicate piece of equipment, and a wire wool can either rip bits of the wiring out that's been soldered on, can chance ripping the plates off, and besides which, the wire is a lot harder than the copper, so it'll gouge into the copper. What I do, I polish it with silver water salt. And here, I think I'm using very, very fine wet and dry with silver water salt. So it burnishes it like a wire brush is just an hooligan method. It might have been quick, but he risked trashing his mortar. Anyway, there we go. That's better. I've wiped the polish off, and it's looking a lot better, a lot cleaner. And once it starts running, the brushes will start bedding into it again, because they'll be in new, because you've stripped it down, they'll all be in new positions. I'm giving it a very light oiling. Now I've run out of me old 3-in-1 oil, you'll be glad to know. I've ordered a specific oiling pen. I might as well, because I'm out of the 3-in-1, so I could buy one or the other, and it's neither there nor there for me, so I sent for an oiling pen. And here, what I'm doing, I'm putting the carbon brushes back in, and the springs, and just being gentle. Make sure it's in the nipple. Hello, matron. And yeah, you just put it in the nipple and a gentle push, and hello. Anyway, here we are. The motor's running beautiful and smooth. It needs now it's been stripped and cleaned and polished and everything. It'll need time to bed in again. But once it's bedded in, it should be a beautiful smooth runner. And there we go. Are we going the other way? I think we are indeed. So there we are. We've checked it running both directions. It's had a gentle oiling. It's had a little bit of grease on the gears. And it's a beautiful motor. Need we say more? Anyway, if you enjoy watching these videos, could I ask you to subscribe if you will? If you've already subscribed, I can only thank you so much. It's fantastic having you along, and it's most appreciated that you've subscribed. But on average I get about 50% subscribed, 50% not subscribed that view. Here I'm already putting the body back on. It's just the basic thing of clipping it on. But yeah, if you can subscribe, that'd be awesome. And here, what I'm using here is Vallejo. I think it's Panzer Aces, this colour, and it's track primer. I think it's from the tank range, Panzer Aces. It's like a chocolatey, rusty brown colour. And here I'm just putting a Vallejo wash on, and it's a burnt umber wash or an umber wash, one of the two. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to sort of graduate between the two. Later on I'll wash it in black, and I put a line of black wash at the bottom, so it's graduated down from the top where it's yellow, then umber, and then down to black. As I say, it's pretty heavily weathered, this, but normally I'd aim for lighter. In general I use a less is more ethos, which works well. And here we're putting on, it's umber wash again. It works better over yellow than black. Black's a bit too harsh for yellow, although I've got oil paint there at the bottom where I didn't wipe it off that well. I'm not over worried, it's just adding, like I say, it's a bit harsh. You've to observe, and it's not always easy on camera, observing fully what you're doing. But we get there gradually. And here we are, I'm putting buffers on. And what I did on the buffers, I applied on each buffer a circle in the middle of gunmetal, so it looks like the grease on the buffers. You'll see it on the turntable at the end and when it's running. And there we are, just pushing the buffers in. And what I'm doing here, I'm applying a black wash to grills and stuff, etc. I decided to apply it to the chassis as well later. I could have been a wee bit gentler, but it adds to the effect. And there we go. Once it dries anyway, it's not quite as bad, but it does give the effect of oozing, oil oozing out the grills. I were gonna say I don't think any of the locos ever got this bad, but every time you say something like that, somebody will post a picture to prove you wrong, and they probably did. But I don't think the diesels ever got that bad. Steam engines certainly did, but I don't think diesels got really bad. And there we go, dabbing more on. And also do the roof vent. And here what I'm doing, I'm dry brushing with not dry brushing and weathering powders. It's Tamiya weathering powders, and I'm weathering powders with the one called rust. Later I put bits of red rust on, and then later still I did oil patching for near the tanks. Also did at the bottom of the body. Oh yeah, here we've moved over the top, and I'm dry brushing some Vallejo weathering. It's a weathering compact actually, rather than powders. It's like bloody makeup, if you will. Makeup for models. And it adds a bit of colour and emphasises. I'm battering it in a bit more with brushes there. I'm adding Tamiya soot out of the weathering compact for near the exhausts. So it adds a bit of soot to it. And in between some of these I've not mentioned, I've used a matte varnish to varnish it. And what I'm doing there, I'm just knocking in with oil staining. What I've done, I've mixed it with some turpentine or white spirit, whichever it is I have. I put a dab on my brush and mixed it in with a Tamiya weathering compact. Made it a bit slushy and a bit better. And what I'm doing here, I'm cleaning all the windows off with IPA, isopropyl alcohol, to take off the matte varnish. I don't want it all off, I want a little bit of the matte on to make them look dirty but lookable through. Really is what I want. Anyway, here we come to it running. I've got the money put together for me baseboards, so I'll be buying me baseboards to make a layout. I'm going 15 foot by 5 foot approximately. Anyway, here's a view of what we started with. A toy looking Hornby. Well, it's toy looking because of the plastic effect. You can see the plasticky effect. And glossy. It's actually quite a nice livery. And here's what we finished up with. It looks more in the model camp than the toy camp. Looks absolutely filthy. But it's brought out details, etc. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. And tatty pie, everybody. Tatty pie.